Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to this paint along. I'm going to do a follow-up to my Andromeda painting, which is outer space planets. It's kind of cool. It's a fun painting, and it's one that you can do. It's a simple little painting, but it is so cool. I'm going to start off. I have a canvas up here, just a white canvas. It's actually scrap. It's got a hole in it where I cut a patch out of. Got a hole up here. But I thought I would show you kind of how I make like the shadows and craters and stuff on these planets on this, and then we'll move on and we'll do our painting. So as you can see, I have this circle here on my canvas, and got a little bit of black and a little bit of white gesso. Just a little black and white gesso. And what I'll do, I'm going to take a 1/2-inch chip brush. Pick this thing up for like 99 cents at Michael's. Just a 1/2-inch chip brush, and I'm just going to kind of get a little bit of paint on it, and then I'm going to dab it. When I dab it, I kind of want to just get to where it's not big globs. Just little specks. Little specks. So I've got that going on here, and I'm going to come up and I'm just going to start following the contour of my circle that's on here. That's going to eventually be a moon or a planet or whatever you want it to be. Honestly, it's your world. I am just following the contours. I want to go around this way, and as I come here, it'll then become straight down. But I don't want to start off that way. And I'm just in the black, dipping it in, tapping it out, and coming back over. And you can put these in wherever you want. You can find pictures of the moon if you're trying to get it as close as possible, where you can put in all the valleys and shadows and all that. All that you want. I'm just doing like random patterns. I'm spinning my brush around. I'm just kind of letting it dance, and I'm just tapping. Just tapping. Now, sometimes I want it to be gray. So in that case, I'll just dip in and get a little bit of white in with that black and tap it out the same way. And I'm not pressing real hard with this. I'm just tapping nice and light. You can put as many as you want or as few as you want. But this is how I do it. If I want some more black, I want to strengthen the black a little bit somewhere, I'll just come in with some straight black. It's relatively simple. All right? You know, if I want a big dark area, I'll just tap it more. And there we go. And that's about how I do it, right there. And when that's done, whatever I used, like for this, I used this little form here. I will cut out some contact paper. I got it Dollar General or somewhere for like $1 or $2. I don't know. I just cut out that shape, and once this is completely dry, I will take that contact paper and stick it to it. Now, to get the contact paper to stick real well, I take an old credit card, driver's license, what have you, and a hair dryer. And I'll go in and I'll just heat that sucker up. And while I'm heating it, while I'm blowing the hot air on it, I'll just push the air bubbles out, and I'll make sure to go around the edges real good with that card so that the edges stick real nice. So that's how we do that. And you can put as many or as few planets in as you want. Doesn't matter. All up to you. Entirely up to you. Now, let's take this one down. Get it out of the way. And I'm going to put up the one I have prepped and ready to go. Sure I am. Excuse me there, Bob. Tighten that baby down. Now, after I've done all that, I go over, I have all my stickers on, all my contact paper stickers. 1, 2, 3. I got another one somewhere around here. That's the only problem, is sometimes you lose them. There it is. 4 and 5. In fact, just so I don't lose it later. There. I'll scratch some of that gesso off of it. There we go. So once all that's on, I will paint this entire canvas in black gesso, and then I'll let that completely dry. Then I'll paint it in black gesso again and let that completely dry. Now, you may notice I have some stuff on here. That's just for a certain effect I'm going for. I took some acrylic and just splattered it on there. I have white and yellow acrylic. I just splattered on. You don't have to do that. I didn't do it in Andromeda. I'm just going kind of for a little bit of a different effect. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I figure what the heck, we'll give it a try. So you don't have to do that. I just did it for that effect. So let's see. Let me point out the colors we're using today. We have 5 of them. We have titanium white, Indian yellow, Pthalo Green, Pthalo Blue, and Alizarin Crimson. Those 5. Now, except for the white, these 4 colors right here are all transparent. That means when I put them on the canvas, it should stay relatively black. I mean, you'll see like a red tint to it. When you put the yellow on, you might actually see either a yellow or a greenish tint to it. That's no big deal. No big deal. Okay, now we have to decide where we want these colors to be. For my painting, what I'd like to do is I want to go blue, and then I want to go phthalo green, I want to go yellow, back to phthalo green, back to blue, and right down here in this corner I might have some crimson. So before we put any color on our canvas though, I'm going to cover this whole canvas in a clear medium. I like to use refined linseed oil. If you like liquid clear, or I don't know, I think Gamblin has a gel. I mean, any of that, it's absolutely fine. Does not matter. The only thing that really matters is that it's clear. You want it to be a clear medium. So let's see. Let me find me a brush here. Oh yes, and I must have, I've got a squeaky chair, I'm sorry. One of these days I'll get a nice one. I also have a jar of paint thinner here because we will be using quite a bit. Got a lot of brush cleaning to do. So I'm going to take some of that linseed oil, my clear medium, on a 2-inch brush, and I'm just going to put it all over this canvas. All over this canvas. I'm just going to kind of scrub that in there. Now, when I was putting the black gesso on, when it came to my planets that are here, all these circles, I took my brush and I went out from them. Out. And I just use a little foam brush to put that stuff on, a little cheap disposable foam brush. I use a 2-inch just because it covers it quicker. I make sure that my entire canvas is covered in oil, because I want this canvas to be slick. I want to be able to move color around on it. And if you ever tried to move oil colors on a dry canvas, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, I'll tell you that right now. And you know, you're supposed to enjoy painting. That just gets you a little aggravated. All right, I'm going to take some paper towels and I'm going to wipe this canvas. All that oil I just put on, I'm wiping a good portion of it off because I don't need that. You only need a super thin coat. After you wipe this thing down, what's left is the exact amount that you need. It's still on there. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but from where I'm sitting, it still looks wet, which is just what we want. There we go. And there we go. Yeah, I guess it does still have a shine to it, doesn't it? All right, I'm going to put the lid back on this oil because I sure don't want to spill it. Oh, one other thing I might use, I have some white medium too. I may use a touch of that. I'm not sure yet. We're going to kind of just wing it and see. So if I do, I'll let you know. All right. Now, what I want to do is start with a couple of my weaker colors. Phthalo Blue and Pthalo Green will overwhelm everything if you're not careful. So I'm going to start off with my Indian Yellow, and then I will move on to my Alizarin Crimson, and then my Pthalo Green, then my Pthalo Blue. Yeah, I think that's the order I'm going to do that in. Okay, so I'm going to, on my 2-inch brush, I'm just going to pull out some yellow. Let me hold this thing up. Just going to pull out some yellow, Indian Yellow, load up both sides, and then I'm just going to tap. And what I'm doing here is I'm just getting a nice even distribution of paint in those bristles. Okay. All right, and I'll be doing that for all the colors. Okay, so I'm going to start right up in this area. Now, I don't want too much. Believe me, we're going to hit this stuff with white and you're going to see it come alive. Okay. We will make it come alive. I'm just wiping some of that paint off my brush. I'm going to come back. I put far too much paint on there. I'm just getting a little bit off. One thing old Bob always said was put it on a little at a time. It's easy to put on more. It's a son of a gun to take it off. And you know what? He was right. He was right. Okay, so I have that 2-inch brush, but I also have this 2-inch brush. Now with this 2-inch brush, this clean one, I decided I wanted some of this crimson down in this area, so I'm going to hit the crimson here. If these colors wind up, well, they are. We're going to kind of like blend them all together. I'm going to say if they wind up blending into each other, well, yeah, they are, because we're going to make it happen. We are going to make it happen. Just getting some more paper towels. There we go. Now I'm just going to put some crimson right down in here. I don't want a whole lot, but as you can see, yeah, I do have some on my brush. That's all I want. Right about there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm just going to wipe the excess out. I'm going to use this same brush, and I'm going to grab some Pthalo Blue. I'm just going to pull that sucker out, load it up, knock the bristles, get some distribution of color there. And I can see that I got my yellow here, I got my crimson here, I want my blue right in between the two. Because as you know, yellow and blue make green. So I'm just going to blend that in right there. And I'm going to come down here. Just be sure you don't have a whole lot of yellow on your brush, because if you mix, because I'm going to come down here and mix the blue and the crimson. If you have a lot of yellow, now you have yellow, you have a yellow, a blue, and a red, which are primary colors, and you're going to make brown. Which is really good when you want brown, when you're going for flesh tones and stuff. Not a bad idea. I don't really want brown in this. Okay, there we go. And what I'm doing is I'm just using little crisscross strokes right here at the edges where the colors come together. Okay. I had said I wanted some Pthalo Green in right here, but it's all right. I think I'm just going to go with some Pthalo Green right up this way. So I'm going to take the first brush that we did the Indian yellow with, pull out some Pthalo Green, tap the bristles, and for me, I like Pthalo Green and Indian yellow mixed anyway, so I'm just going to put a little Indian yellow in mine. You don't have to. You don't have to. But if you want, you know, hey, cool deal. Okay. Right here, I'm just going to, as you can see by on my sticker, this does have green on it. I'm just blending the yellow and the green. There we go. And there we go. But Dale, you say, are you finished? Of course not. Nah. Now we just look here at our handiwork and decide what we want to do here. I'm going to take a fan brush and we're going to make some cloudy looking things here. It's in outer space. I don't think you can really call them clouds, but you know, it's going to look pretty cool. All right, fan brush. And I'm just loading up both sides with some titanium white. I don't need a whole lot. In fact, I loaded it up, pulled it out. I'm just going to kind of tap that, because I don't need a whole bunch of paint. Believe me, these black canvases, it's going to show up just great. Okay, and I think right here, I'm just going to let this baby dance. I'm just kind of spinning this. Go right over that planet. Go right up. There we go. Now, I have color all over this brush now. So, I am going to clean it. I'm going to clean it in some paint thinner. I'm going to knock off the excess and put the cover back on that paint thinner. We don't want to sit here and have it fuming up our nose. And then I'm just going to dry that baby off. There we go. And going right back to that white and doing it all over again. And you decide where you want these. There is no right, there is no wrong. There's only what you want. I think here, I'm going to come here. Right there in that green. Yeah. Get some of that green going. Don't let your brush sit in one spot. All right. Cool. Now I'm going to clean the brush again. And I want to be able to bring out a little bit of this crimson. And hopefully where it mixed with the blue, we get a nice little lavender color too. That'd be nice to have in there. That would be nice to have in there. Just getting some of this. Now, especially down in here, this is kind of like the main, I don't know what you'd call it, cloud, haze. Down in here, I don't want it to be so prominent, but it doesn't take a whole lot of paint. I am just going to like come down here. And I'm lightening up the pressure a whole lot. Oh, yeah. I'm just taking that right on off the canvas. Get a little bit more here. This baby's going to come right on down here. That's wherever you feel like having them. There we go. I'm going to clean my brush again. And get a little bit of paint. There we go. Not a whole lot. Real light pressure. I just want to put a little bit right in there. And again, real light pressure. There we go. All right. Let me clean off that fan brush. Now, you can do all this with a 1 2-inch brush and 1 fan brush, and probably a script liner too. I just have more brushes here, so I don't have to keep cleaning them. Because right now, I would probably use a 2-inch brush, but I don't want to clean another brush right now. So I'm just going to grab me a 1-inch brush here. 1-inch brush. Now, if your paint is real thick on here, which mine isn't, take your palette knife and just scrape it off. You don't want a lot of thick white paint on here. You can see when I scrape mine off, not a whole lot's coming off because I didn't use a whole lot. There we go. See? So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right over here and I'm just going to start blending little X patterns. Maybe go little roundies. I don't know what you call it. I call it little roundies. And just kind of move this paint the way you want it to look. It's like, oh, look, I want this to come up higher. Okay, I'm going to pull it up, and now I'm going to blend it out. I want it to come down lower. Hey, not a problem. Let's bring a little bit of that white down this way. There we go. All right. I'm just kind of alternating between. That's the nice thing about this painting. A lot of paintings are all about the stroke work. On this, it doesn't really matter. Just go with what feels right. I'm alternating between doing just little circles without my bristles coming off and doing little X patterns. Whatever's feeling right to you at that moment. Just let it blend right on out into that dark, into that outer space. Just let it go. Let it blend right on out. Now, as you can see, I got a lot of green here on this brush, so I am going to clean it because now I'm going to go down here into this blue and this red. And green has yellow in it, and what did we say earlier? You put blue, yellow, and red together, you get a nice brown. It's not what I'm going for, though. Okay. Now make sure that if you clean your brush, you get all that excess thinner out of there. You don't want to be bringing thinner up here onto your painting. Now, right in here, I think I want a little bit more haze. So I'm just going to take that same brush, and I'm just going to tap it very lightly into some white. Just so little. Okay. I might do it a couple more times. Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of a little bit more there. There we go. Like I said, I put too much yellow on there to begin with. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Seems to be working for me. All right, now I'm going to peel these contact paper covers off. Now you're going to notice on mine, I used different color acrylics before I started putting in my shadows and stuff. There's a reason for that. Stuff that just an effect that I'm trying. You can, this can be white, it doesn't matter. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take some of these transparent colors and go right over them. I'm going to show you how to do one, and you can do all yours with the transparent colors. Some of these I'm going to leave. There we go. Some of these I'm going to leave without putting any more colors on them. This one I think I'm going to have to actually stand up and loosen up my canvas for. Come on. Sometimes you get them stuck on there real good. Now, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I actually, my knife took some paint off right there, so I'm just going to take this little brush right here and just kind of blend it. Bam. Bam. Okay. So, now you have to decide what colors do I want my planets to wind up being. And for me, I'm gonna do this one here. Okay, I'm gonna put some transparent colors on there. So you'll still be able to see the lights and the shadows. And I think on this one, let's see, I'm over here. I think I'm gonna go with some, to start off with, a bit of the Indian yellow. And I'm just tapping it into the bristles of this 1-inch brush. Nice even distribution of color. Now, I know it's hard to see that, isn't it? But I'm putting yellow on there. Huh. There we go. Well, I'll tell you what, let's add a little bit of green to it. Maybe we'll be able to see that a little bit better. And you just kind of follow the contours. What I like to do is make one side lighter and the other side darker. You know, like dark side of the moon type thing. Okay. And again, I'm following the contours of my planet. And I think I got a little too much of the green here. And so if you get a little too much, hey, just go back, wipe it off. It's no big deal. It's really not a big deal. Another thing you can do is once you have your transparent colors on, you can take your, let me get a fresh one. Take your paper towel here. Take your paper towel. Just wad it up and just do this. It'll take off colors in a weird pattern, which really it's I should say weird, it's a random pattern, which there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, now what we'll do now is sometimes I want this haze to come over and cross the front of a planet. Okay, well I can do that. I'm going to take some of this white and I'm just going to take the corner of my brush and just start making little circles. Doesn't really matter what brush you use to get the paint on or whatever, you know. Now that it's on, I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to haze it out. Okay. Now, let's say that I want some of this to come over this way. I'm going to take a little bit more. I'm going to take a little bit of this blue and mix it with a little green. So a little phthalo blue, a little phthalo green. I'm just going to put a little bit on here, just so I have something to blend with. And I'm going to grab some of that white on my fan brush. A lot of this is just playing around with what you have and let the canvas talk to you. Tell you what it wants you to do. It looks like that haze is coming right over the top. There we go. Cool. I may even take a little bit more white. I've said it before, painting's like cooking. You cook to what tastes right, what tastes good. I paint to what looks right, looks good. Sometimes a painting, I'm going along and I'll completely change it. And honestly, I think most people have been painting for it doesn't take long, just for a little while. They'll do the same thing. It's like, I just don't think I like that too much. I think I want to change that. And they do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all wrong with that. You have artistic license. As Bob said, when you bought your first tube of paint, they gave you that license. You may not realize it yet, but they did. I'm just going to kind of haze that one out a little bit. There we go. Sweet. I'm actually pretty happy with it, just like it is. However, I do want to add some stars. So what I'm going to do, remember I said I might be using this liquid white? I am. I'm going to take some thick titanium white that I had out on the canvas. I'm going to get some liquid white. I'm going to mix it with it. And I'm going to just mix it and make it thin. And quite honestly, I'm probably going to add a little bit of paint thinner to it. You got to be real careful adding paint thinner though. It's easy to go too much. Very easy. So what I'm doing is I'm going to mix the thinner, the liquid white, and the titanium white. And I'm going to get it to a consistency about maybe like half and half, maybe heavy cream. Okay. And I'm just going to load up my fan brush with it. There it is. Now, I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to put my finger here and I'm just going to flick those bristles. Wherever I think that there might need to be stars, which I think right through there needs to be a lot. There we go. And we have us some stars up there now. Okay. I'll take that. I will take that. Now, I'm going to take my script liner brush. And I'm just going to dip it in some oil or clear medium, whatever, and I'm rolling it. I can't pick up my palette because I have that real thin white on there, but I'm just rolling it, because I want to bring that tip to a point. And now You know, I got a mall stick for Christmas, but I have found that this homemade thing that I made, it's a Swiffer handle. It's got an old paintbrush in it. I love the way it works. So find what works for you. You don't always have to have, you know, the name brand equipment. I love this thing. It works great. Now, if I have a big dot of white, I'm just going to go right into that dot. I'm going to flick up. I'm going to flick down. I'm going to flick like 45 degrees up, 45 degrees the other direction, 45 down, 45 the other direction. And I'm just going to make that star burst. And I may add some more just by using some of this thin white. Just wherever I think they may need to be. And up, over. So like the 12 o'clock, 1:30, 3, 4:30, you know, you get it. Those positions. There we go. I may take one of these dots and just kind of pull the tail out. Make it look like a shooting star. Now you don't want that tail to be straight. You want to have it, you want it to be kind of rounded. This one's actually a little bit too straight. We can change that. Ain't nothing but a thing. I'm just putting in stars, putting in little shooting stars or star bursts or just whatever. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Remember, as Bob used to say, this is your world. You do what you want on this canvas. Find freedom on this canvas. No one can tell you if that painting is right, if it's wrong. No. Don't let anyone discourage you either. I've been told by classically trained artists that because I don't have any formal training, I am not an artist. I said, well, that's okay. I'll just be what I am because I'm pretty happy with it. But you know what? Their opinion isn't going to dissuade me. Their opinion is not going to make me give this up. I can go pound sand, you know it? That's how I feel. Go pound sand. Because I love doing this. I truly feel like if I had to give this up, I would die. Not figuratively, I mean literally. I do feel like I would just die. So, when you feel that passion about something, you don't let somebody else's opinion. You know what they say about opinions. And to clean it up for all the kiddies out there, opinions are like armpits. Everyone's got a couple of them, and they usually stink. So don't let anyone stop you. There we go. Now, I've got when I did the stars, I got a few little dots here. It's really no big deal. I got them on my planets. You know, oh well. Let me show you something. Doesn't matter. Take you a clean brush. This is actually the brush I used to put the stars up there, but I'm just wiping the paint off. I'm not going to clean it in paint thinner. Just go up here and just kind of just blend it on out. It'll disappear. Nothing to get excited about. Heck, if it doesn't disappear, make it part of the landscape of the planet. I mean, I've never been to these planets, have you? Only in my mind. Okay. Now you can also, let's have some green on it. Get some of this green off of here. You can also come around here and you can take some of this color, this transparent color that you put on, and just kind of blend in the edges. That'll make them not so harsh, kind of soften them up. Just soften them up a little bit. And you can make these planets whatever size you want. Heck, you could do a bunch of cubes. If in your world planets are cubes, do cubes. But let me see it, because I think that would actually be really cool. Huh. You may have to think about that one. Okay, and I'm just blending some of this color right into the edges here. There we go. Same with up here. Just a little bit. I don't want it to go too far. I don't want to lose the colors. Now, these colors I have my planets. Like I said, if you do white, that's fine. That's how Andromeda was. They were all white. If you look at the time lapse, Andromeda was, the planets were, you know, just white gesso color. And I just added transparent colors on top of those. These are acrylics that I added some colors on. Like I said, I'm going for a certain effect. I still don't know if it's actually going to work or not. But if it does, it'll be at the end of this video. So, all right. Now I think it's about time to sign this sucker. And you know what? I changed my signature for 2021. I always signed it with my last name, Cullen. And I never, it's not that I don't like my last name. I just never liked the signature for the painting. So I've changed things. I just go with my initials now, DC. Of course, I have kind of a stylized version of how I do it. Only 2 brush strokes, so that's nice too. But the older I get, the more I need reading glasses. I almost need to put them on to do this. Now, how you sign yours is entirely up to you. I had a few people try to talk me out of it, saying, well, you've already established a signature. Now, people who get your early works, they won't have your signature. Yeah, it's still my signature, and come on. You really think something like this is going to hang in the Louvre from me? So I'm not terribly worried about it. All right. So we're going to pause here for a second. Then we'll see what happens. Hang tight. Okay, and I'm back. Well, all these acrylic paints, these colors, are all glow in the dark. And while I do get glow in the dark, I can't pick it up on the camera. I used these little paints. They're called Neon Nights glow paint. And yeah, they do glow in the dark, but I don't know. An iPhone camera doesn't seem to want to pick it up. But it's a pretty cool effect. I will tell you that. I was hoping to get to share it with you. But there you go. I'm calling this one Orion. This is Orion, partner to my painting Andromeda. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a simple little painting that you can do even if you've never painted before. You can do this. It's not too difficult. A lot of transparent colors. And hey man, give it a go. Let me know in the comments if you've given it a try and how it turned out. I would be very interested to know. So anyways, until the next time, folks, remember, keep looking up because that's where our strength comes from. And I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye now.